to the Paint, Rest, Repeat podcast with Roz Gervais and
Laura Day, where we chat about our creative lives as artists while keeping it real and a little bit messy.
we're here to inspire creatives just like you to push past those boundaries and make art that you love. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Paint, Rest, Repeat. Today we are chatting about the second step. Is that right, Laura? The second step in the 3 essential steps to grow your creative business.
That's right. Laura? Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Roz?
I'm good. I've got a different little layout over here, and so I'm a bit confused. Hold on, I'm gonna move you on the screen so I can see your lovely face.
So we're covering over the 3 essential steps, like Roz has mentioned. We're going on to the second step, and today it's all about building your confidence with marketing your art. And we find that the artists that we work with tend to have like a little bit of a sticky relationship with marketing and putting themselves forward and talking about themselves, their art, what they do, can feel really weird and uncomfortable, especially in the early stages. So I feel like this is a really great topic.
Definitely. And I think we all have room to grow. You know, I think part of the theme today anyway is this whole constant growth mentality. And we're always looking to improve and be a little bit better than previous days and previous periods. So I think this episode is great for a lot of people. Actually, I would say like artists of all different stages, because we're always looking at growing and improving and just getting a little bit better at whatever it is we do inside our art businesses. So today we will be sharing some practical action steps. Did you say that already, Laura?
No.
Yeah,
excellent. We are.
And also some mindset hacks as well, because, you know, we are complex creatures. It's not just the how-to, it's also the psychological sort of side of being an artist in business as well. But before we go on, Laura, you've got a retreat coming up.
Yeah, talking about marketing. How about I talk about it? Now, we're recording this a month ahead of time. So I actually don't even know how many spots are going to be left in Futureland. But I'm having a retreat and I've got a special discount code for our lovely podcast listeners. So yeah, that's you, our lovely people. I would love to welcome you into an incredible experience that we're going to have in Hoi An, Vietnam. It's all about creativity, connection, community, and just having the most epic vacation with artists. So if there's still spots left, you can go to my retreat page and all the info will be in the show notes. And if you enter the discount code PRR200, you can get $200 off your ticket. So,
Good.
Yeah.
I'm coming as well.
Yay.
It's going to be good. I feel really uncomfortable. So I'm not uncomfortable with the retreat. I'm really excited about the retreat, but I feel really uncomfortable because I don't know for our listeners, if you know, but we also have the video version of this on YouTube. And so we're recording on Zoom and I keep on moving Laura around my screen and it's really disorientating. But anyway, so you're like down there now and it won't let me minimize. It's very confusing on my end, Laura. Please send tech help. I need tech help.
It's all good. You know, we're just putting it out there and we're just doing it any way that we can. So
small improvements.
And I think that like, you know, this really ties into the topic of today's conversation. It's like you just make it work whatever way.
Thing.
Yeah, you do the thing.
Do the thing. But yes, sorry. So back on your retreat, so excited. And I'm coming along. It feels like a really big leap for me to be coming because I've got small kids and I've got to ask the husband, I've got to find the time, like all of the things. But like I'm incredibly excited. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think this will be a really special trip for you, Roz, because you haven't been away from your girls for this and this amount of time before. And I think it's just so special that you're able to like carve out that quality time for yourself and just to give back to yourself. It's going to be so special.
Yay.
So hopefully there are some spots left if this is sounding like a really amazing thing that you'd like to do. I can't make any promises though. So just check it out. All the details will be in the show notes.
And
so
if you are Oh, sorry.
You go.
I did want to say, if you are interested in the retreat, but it has sold out, still send Laura a note because I'm sure you'll have a wait list going by this point for future retreats.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now the episode today, we are chatting about the whole confidence side with marketing, and we are assuming with this episode, if you're listening, that you have actually already listened to the two previous sort of, what are they called, like precursor episodes. So they were episode 72, where we laid out the 3 essential steps for growing your creative business, and then 74, where we dived into, that gets me every time, the first step, which was all about setting your vision and your goals for your art business. So we're assuming you've listened to those. If you haven't, go back 72 and then 74, and then come and listen through on this particular episode. So marketing, why is marketing important, Laura?
Well, yeah, it's how you tell people about what you do. You get to share your art, your services, your products, your workshops. It's just a way that you tell the world all about the amazing, incredible you and what you do and what service you offer to the world.
Do you reckon you could have an art business without marketing? I'm trying to think.
No. You have to have some sort of community. You have to have some sort of connection. You have to have some sort of way of putting your work out there.
Yeah, I guess you could run it off word of mouth entirely.
But that's still marketing. That's word of mouth marketing.
Yeah, but like organic word of mouth. I guess you wouldn't be able to develop like a stable income through your art or anything consistent without any sort of marketing. I guess word of mouth is marketing. What do you think, listeners? Drop us a DM.
Yeah, let us know.
What's your take on that? So marketing is a really, really important when it comes to growing your art business. And that's why we're talking about it today. And I think, this combination of marketing and confidence is such a thing, because I think we hear, like you were saying before, we hear those lines often. I'm no good at marketing. I hate marketing. Do I have to do the marketing? Or I'm not confident, I'm not good at marketing, I don't want to show my face on camera. All of these sort of limiting beliefs, they can sort of really pile up. So we're here to tell you that the marketing piece is really important in growing your business. And for me anyway, and I think Laura agrees, but you can sort of jam with me if you like, Laura, but the confidence I actually think is sort of irrelevant, because confidence comes in time as you sort of develop and grow evidence that you're doing a good job. What matters instead is the courage and the bravery to try the things. And we're talking today specifically about trying the marketing things. What's your take on that, Laura?
I totally agree. As you were talking, that bravery piece, like just being brave and just taking a step forward and putting your work out there. I think that's the most important step.
Yeah, and then practicing, right? So finding the bravery, then practicing the marketing steps and all those things. And as you practice, then your confidence will grow, because you'll start to see what works, what doesn't work, and you'll start to see that actually you are good at certain parts of marketing. You're just actually naturally good at certain parts of marketing. Like I feel like that's a fairly acceptable statement, Laura. I feel like everyone will be good at something in the marketing space.
Of course. And we've got more tips throughout the episode to share with you if you are still in that unsure phase or at the starting stage of all of this. But yeah, it is about just finding that little piece within inside of you to like take that step forward and really just keep showing up and practicing over and over. Talking about your art or sharing your art and putting it out there so people can see, because I'm sure that you're all doing amazing work that the world needs to see. And I'm sure that you can inspire so many people with the journey that you've been on, the work that you're creating. And the world needs more positivity and more art and more creativity more than ever. So by you sharing your journey and your work, that's going to have a lead-on effect to others. And yeah,
you're giving me goosebumps, Laura.
We need to see that. We totally need to see that. So,
but Laura, things get in our way, right? Like, so we have all these herd sets.
That's two words in one, Roz.
Don't you have herd sets? I have herd sets all the time. Mindset hurdles. I'm so tired over here. We have mindset hurdles as well that get in the way of sort of marketing our art and get in the way of sort of putting ourselves out there and sharing what we're doing. Okay, so we might sort of like align with the mission and see that our art is needed and sort of logic that, you know, you're serious about your art and all of that. But when it comes to actually sharing it, sometimes we do have these blocks. And we have actually made a bit of a list, Laura and I, of I think 8. I'm having a look. 8,
Yeah,
7 common.
We just went through and we just thought of all of the different blocks or, you know, just off the cuff comments that artists tend to say to us, or we've personally experienced for ourselves. Because
I'm perfect, Laura. I don't know what you're talking about. I've got it all sorted.
We've been through the gamut as well, and still to this day, like, honestly, once you like hit a certain level, it's not like you have it all figured out. You know, it's always like when you're stretching yourself beyond your comfort zone, that you're always going to be faced with some pushback. And it's not always smooth sailing. So we have some herd sets.
I love herd sets. We got 7 herd sets, and we have seven tips, or 1 tip per herd set to help you to overcome it.
I think you've invented a new word, Roz.
Excellent.
So we've got some mindset hurdles that might get in the way, and we're starting off with the I'm not good at. So I'm not good at marketing. I'm not good at Instagram. I'm not good at insert the blank.
Yeah. So these are statements, right? And they're sort of, what's the word? Definite. I think I was trying to work out the word for this. They're conclusive, they're definite, they're limiting beliefs, right? And they're sort of set because there's a full stop at the end. So I think like there's a lot of risk in this, in any sort of statement that's like that. I'm not good at anything, because it's not giving you that opportunity for growth. So our little tip around that is to do the classic injection of yet there. So I'm not good at this yet. And then you can also flip that around and turn it into an affirmation to help you to strengthen and help you to flip that limiting belief around into something that's instead going to support you to change and to grow and develop and move towards your goals as an artist in business.
Yeah. Wonderful.
The second one was around the fear of rejection, which is super common as well, because we often have this worry that what happens if we share our art and then people don't respond positively, and we find that bravery and we post our art on socials either for the first time, or maybe it's a new style of artwork and we're wanting to share that and see what the feedback is, and we might be feeling a bit nervous about that. But in Laura and my experience over however many years now, we've noticed that when we do have thoughts like that, it's actually largely, generally, entirely in our heads. We just sort of leap to that worst case scenario rather than sort of basing anything on evidence. We just catastrophize. Is that what it's called, Laura?
Yeah, sometimes, the mind does take over, and it is like a bit frightening because, you're just worried that people are not going to like your work or like you, or and it is, the world's so busy and people are mostly thinking about themselves. They're actually not really thinking about you. So if you think of it that way, then it can be easier to show up and put your work out there because, like Roz said before, we haven't, the artists are very positive and lovely. And the more you put your work out there, then the more eyes you can get onto your work. And often that fear of rejection or fear of not being liked is largely something that we've built up in our own minds.
It's such a personal development opportunity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because what it is, it's saying, hey, universe, like not even directly to your audience, but hey, universe, like I'm an artist and I'm making art and this is what I'm wanting to do.
Mhm.
And by posting on socials or wherever it is, you are putting that message like out there into the world. And I think it's like it's such a step in standing up in this world, like broadly speaking, and standing up for what you want. And that's really hard for a lot of people because a lot of us are people pleasers and we just sort of fit in and we are behind the scenes and all of that. So you like find that brave and do the thing, because your mission and what you want is really, really important. And this is your life. This is your period of time on this planet, is what I always sort of chat about. So do something for yourself in this time.
Yeah, amazing. And another note on that too, because our work can be quite emotionally charged, or it can like feel like I don't know, like we spend our time in our studio and we're like refining our process, and these works can feel like our babies. These works are really important to us. We're exposing our heart onto the canvas, and then you're bearing it out into the world, and so that can feel very vulnerable. And especially in the early stages, people might not know that you're an artist, and then all of a sudden like you're sharing this deeply personal work to the world. So yeah, it can feel raw, and you know, that fear of not being liked or seen or accepted it can bring up some intense feelings, but we're encouraging you to be brave.
Yeah, do the thing. Almost like write the post and like and press like close your eyes and press the post button and then run away from your phone. And we can almost guarantee that nothing. Actually, we can guarantee that nothing awful will happen.
No.
So the next one is around the fear of failure as well. So what if you do post your artwork or email about your artwork or tell someone you are an artist and you're met by crickets? Or what happens if you put all this effort into marketing your art business and it never succeeds? What happens then?
I like this topic. I have a different relationship with failure. And I know some people don't have that same relationship, but if you could cultivate somewhat of this mindset, it would really help you go a long way. I think failure and mistakes and all of the bumpy bits in your journey is only fuel for growth.
Yeah.
So you can always do something and you can always fail. And I think failing and making mistakes are actually really good things, because if you just sit and don't try and don't follow that calling of your heart, then you're going to be living your life thinking like, what if? And you haven't tried. So I think putting your work out there, launching the product, launching the workshop, putting your work out to a gallery, like it's all amazing. And even if you have a perceived negative result at the end, say your work doesn't get accepted by a gallery, or say you launch a workshop and no one books in, you can always step back and reassess and think about like, well, what do I do next? And then you move on to the next thing. And I feel like if something doesn't work out, it's the universe redirecting you onto the perfect path for yourself.
Yeah, or it's an invitation for you to reassess if that's what you truly want. And if it is, then trying at it from a different angle. So, you know, I reached out to a Sydney-based gallery fairly recently and they said no. And luckily for me, I'm fairly used to the whole mindset. So I've got them popped into my diary for 6 months' time to go and approach again. You know, like it's a no is not a no. And a workshop with no tickets sold does not mean that you cannot run workshops. It just means that one didn't fly. And then you decide whether you're committed to it and you work out a new way of, you know, building up those ticket sales. So yeah, we're all good. No failures, just learning opportunities, right?
Amazing. Love it.
This is it. The next one is around fear of success. And a lot of people forget about this one, but it's this sort of idea that well, what happens if I put my art out to sale and then someone actually buys it? What do I do? Like, how do I ship that thing? How do I package that thing? I don't even know how much it costs. Like, I don't even know what. It's a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This fear of success. Like, how do I catch that? What happens if 10 people book in for my workshop? I haven't even got enough supplies to run a workshop for that many people. What do you reckon, Laura?
You can always figure it out. What is it? Murray Folio's like, everything's figure outable.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Heard sets. Figure
And
outable.
yeah, and we're all about imperfect action. Like this podcast is imperfect action. Like it's just about like putting things out there and just trying it out and figuring it out as you go.
Yeah, and trying it on for size as well. You know, like, did that suit you? Did you enjoy selling your art that way? Did you enjoy a workshop with 10 people? And are you going to do that again? Yeah. Okay, next one. Imposter syndrome. The classic, but I'm not actually an artist.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm throwing them all to you, Laura.
Oh, yeah, sure. Everyone's an artist. This one was easy. Yeah.
Full stop, moving on. No, like
no,
that.
but imposter syndrome is so intense. Like, we've all experienced it. We've all experienced it. But I'm not a real artist. Yeah. I think every single person is an artist and a creative person. You get to design the life that you want to create. You get to create the work that you want to put out there into the world. And, you know, I think everyone's creative. And yeah,
you're allowed to do it your way. Like, I think that, you know, I think a lot of us want to follow the rules. I don't know, we've been raised in a certain way, whatever it is, to follow the rules. Can't be an artist unless I have a formal degree in that. Can't be an artist until I've got, 10 awards. Can't be an artist until I'm in a gallery. I can't be an artist until, like, all of these things. And I swear I can hear our listeners going, oh, yep, that's me. Because we just throw these like barriers, these things in our way to stop us from being the person we want to be. It's really amazing. We're just very complex.
Yeah. But once you start embracing your uniqueness, your unique take on things, and really like dig in and figure out your strengths and what you bring to the table, what your unique mission is, the underlying why behind what you're doing, then that all goes a long way to like building that confidence and trust within yourself and knowing your own value and putting yourself out into the world, the unique way that you are.
All right, our next one, and I'm thinking about, setting up an email list, building a website, maybe like my first artist website. Perfectionism can wreak a lot of havoc. So this waiting until everything is absolutely perfect before we take action. And it can cause a death cycle of procrastination where like nothing actually happens and you just sort of sit in this like limbo forevermore. The website doesn't happen. The social account's not created. You're not posting on socials. Nothing's happening because you're waiting for this moment of perfection. Mm-hmm. What's your take?
My take is done is better than perfect, and putting your work out there in any which way possible, even if it's in the starting stages, even if it's in the messy middle, even if it's at the end and it hasn't got like the refinement around it and the big perfect bow, because I don't know if anything's really perfect. And you know what? I think that your authenticity and your realness, like being real and authentic, is more important than, quotation mark, perfect.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think particularly in the marketing space, actually, because especially now with everybody having Canva, with AI being a thing, everything looks so polished. Everything looks so perfect. I actually know someone in marketing who purposely includes typos in her captions because she wants people to know that she's actually writing those captions. Like, they're real captions. They're from a real person who is fantastically imperfect. It's not this world of being polished. So be yourself, be your natural self, post your art, even if it's like you're saying, Laura, even if it's in that messy space, if it's in the work in progress space, if it's anything, we just want to see it, and we want to come on the journey with you as well. We don't just want your finished product, right? All right, next one. Feeling overwhelmed by all the parts of marketing, Laura. There are so many ways to market my art. There are all these things that I'm meant to do. I feel like I know what I need to do, but the list is just so long and there's no way I can do it all, and it's just too hard and I just quit.
Yeah, this is a big one for our coaching clients. I'm sure it's in your world as well.
Mm-hmm.
People just coming to you, just feeling so overwhelmed because, there's so many roles and so many hats that we have to wear as an artist in business. And it's like, where do I start? Like, how do I improve on this mountain of things that I should be doing in my art business, because it all feels too hard. There's like so many things: email marketing, Instagram marketing. Should I be on TikTok? Should I be, doing all of these things, like making catalogs for my artwork, my website, everything?
Do I need a business card, Laura?
No, you just need Instagram. No one has business cards these days, do they?
I've got business cards, but I do in-person things, Laura. So it's a bit different.
Yeah, that's true. So what would you say, Roz, to someone that's overwhelmed?
Just look at the next step that you need to take, the next 1 to 3 steps that you need to take to get your marketing up and running, and just start small and do those things. Don't worry about all of the things, because nobody can do all of the things at one time. We've just got to start small, and just also realizing that being in the marketing game or the art business game as well, it's all about this continuous and very gentle but continuous learning. We're always going to be wanting to get a little bit better, like we mentioned earlier on in the episode. So it's okay. Start small, start with something, and then just slowly improve and get better at that, or slowly add on another marketing channel if that's appropriate for your business. So starting small, growing from there.
Yeah. Especially for people that are like stepping in from other careers and things like that. Like if they've had their other bosses and other ways of doing business, then coming into owning your own business, there's a huge learning curve that you have to go through to like put all the things in place. So you're not going to step into art business like being a marketing expert. So I'd be gentle with yourself in terms of like, progressing and learning like bit by bit. So small steps.
Now that we're finished with our herd sets, we're going to move on to some practical steps to help you to build your confidence in the area of marketing for your art and for your art business. So we have a few tips for you today to dive into so that you can actually, get the ball rolling really on your marketing and grow, as we were talking. So the first one is to focus on your strengths. So think about who you are as an individual and what you are naturally good at. So if you are really a good writer, for example, you're a creative writer, you might be better suited to be writing blog posts in terms of for your content for marketing. You might be suited to write emails as well to your collectors and your buyers. Otherwise, you might enjoy photography and really enjoy that lifestyle photography side of things just for fun. That's a lot of fun for a lot of people. So that might push you towards sharing your art in gorgeous scenes over on social media. Maybe instead you love public speaking. I don't feel like that's super duper common in the art space. However, I definitely have a few clients that love public speaking. So these sorts of artists will be better suited for things like podcasts or doing lives on social media with other artists as well. Or maybe you have a graphic design background. That's super common in the art space. And you may want to be, playing on Canva or Photoshop, for example, to create fun graphics for your socials accounts or other locations. I don't know, YouTube?
Yeah.
TikTok? I don't know.
Yeah, so your strengths, just reflecting on that and knowing where you feel most comfortable is a really great place to start. And, like I wasn't even sure what my strengths were when I started out in my art business, but it was just trying different things and just giving it a go. Then I finally found out like what I like doing and what I enjoyed the most. And I absolutely love doing this podcast because I am a chatter and I love talking to other artists, and that's so fun. So that's why like Roz and I have such great banter, and you know, we're both working on our strengths, and this is going into our marketing efforts, but it's a fun project. So yeah, thinking about like, yeah, whether you're a writer or you know, playing with photography, or maybe you just want your work front and center, just featuring your artwork. Like you can have a beautiful aesthetic Instagram account, just running it like that. Just whatever way is authentic to you is a good place to start in building your confidence with this marketing space.
And our second tip as well is to start small. And we sort of touched on that before, but having a little bit of a brainstorm around ways that you can market your art. And then trying out one or more of those strategies and those ideas, but just starting really, really small. So you might have like your first like mini branding shoot, maybe just booking like a teeny tiny baby package with a local photographer. You might do a short Instagram live with a fellow artist on Instagram, whatever it is. But there's small sort of steps and sort of like dipping your toe almost into this new marketing idea that you've come across or you've decided that you want to try. And this reminds me a lot of James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. We both highly recommend that one. And one thing that he talks about in this book is the goal of being 1% better than yesterday. So, you know, we're starting small, but we're trying something new that maybe we didn't try yesterday, or we're branching out, sort of turning up the dial, I suppose, on that marketing strategy just a little bit more than yesterday. Okay. So we're just, you know, gentle steps forward in the direction that you want to go.
Mm-hmm. And so once you've identified the area of marketing that you want to try and experiment with and get 1% better with, then the next step is to practice that consistently. So whatever that looks like for you, like make a commitment to yourself. I'm going to show up once a week, or I'm going to show up 4 times a week. Like whatever that is, and just keep it consistent, because once you keep practicing, the more confidence you will get.
Yeah, and on that one as well, a little bit of self-awareness, because a lot of people I find in the art space tend to start things gung-ho and then really disappoint themselves, you know, a month later, because they've set that bar way too high for themselves. So if you know you're like that, if you catch yourself saying, I'm going to post 4 times a week, for example, maybe just drop it down to 3. So, you know, it's just moderated a little bit, and it's going to set you up to be more consistent. And then maybe after a month, you can increase it after that. So just get a good baseline and then grow from there. That's the starting small strategy too, I guess, Laura.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. And what's the next one, Rose?
The next one is around community. So to build your confidence, it can be really, really helpful to basically not to go it alone. So if you can find a network of other artists at a similar stage in their journey, so that you can sort of travel alongside them in your quest to improve the marketing inside your art business, that can be really, really helpful. And we're actually going to talk more about that in greater detail in episode 78. So stay tuned for that one. Or if you're listening to this a little bit ahead of time, that episode might already be up. Who knows? And then number 5.
Yeah.
What do you have, Flora?
Number 5 is education. This is a really good one. So if there is something that you feel like you haven't really got a grasp on, or that you'd really like to expand into and dedicate more time in marketing yourself, whether it's email marketing or social media or your website, I would suggest educating yourself. So whether it's just free tutorials on YouTube, or like going to actual workshops or classes, whether it's online or in person. I remember at the start of my journey with Instagram, I wanted to get better. I went to an Emily Osmond in-person Instagram workshop, and, you know, you're just constantly picking up new tips and ideas and finding out the most relevant information to that time frame as well, because things change over time as well. So it's always good to like look to an expert or look to a teacher that is going to help you improve on whatever area you want to focus on.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot has to be said on this one as well, is this like this lifelong learning thing, right? And finding joy in the learning, because especially in the marketing space, things like you were saying are going to be changing forevermore. Like social media, for example, strategies are going to change all the time. And so will email marketing, and so will all of the things. So we need to actually, I don't know, enjoy the quest of learning how to do that and staying up to date and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's a really good one to have shared on their education. All right, the next one is around asking for feedback. So if you want to know if you're doing a good job, if you want to grow your confidence, you can actually ask other people what they think. There's no harm in that, and that can really help to basically give yourself evidence that you're doing a great job. So you can ask peers what they think of your efforts on socials, email, website design, whatever it is. You can ask a mentor or a coach. You can even ask your audience what they think. So maybe by putting up some polls on social media in your stories, ask them what they want to hear more about through your socials, or ask them for feedback. Say, have you been enjoying my content so far? Yes, no, and invite them to send you a DM with further information if you want to. If you run workshops as well, you can have a feedback form at the end of your workshops, either in person or online. You could email out a survey and get some feedback, get some testimonials as well from your art buyers, for example, to see your impact, see how you're doing. So ask other people for their experience of you, and I think you will be impressed with yourself.
Yeah, amazing.
Impressed with yourself through
Impressed with
their
yourself.
feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just gives you the validation that you need, and helps you to feel seen as well. And, if you're talking to someone that you really trust, like maybe a peer or mentor, they can give you like really valuable insight into like what they're seeing in the content that you're sharing as well. So that will help you learn and improve as well. So the last one that we've got for a tip is around measuring your success and reviewing what you've already done. So like we were saying, like you learn, grow, and expand over time. And it's good to like look back on your progress. How have you gone in the last 3 to 6 months? And just looking at your efforts and seeing the improvements that have been made and seeing the progress that you've made. So what would you suggest for people here, Roz?
Yes. So the numbers are really important, and I'm not really like a numbers dork at all. But if you run your art business and your judgment of your success as a marketer inside your business, and you run that through just emotions, I don't feel like that's enough. Okay. That's not really enough to gauge whether you're doing a good job or not. So I recommend measuring your stats. So actually right now, if you're listening right now, go and write down some stats, go and research all the little bits and pieces behind the scenes of your art business, write down your numbers, because then in 3 to 6 months or whenever you want to go and check your numbers and compare back, you'll have some proper data to see how you're doing. Okay. I don't usually suggest going gung-ho on it, but it just gives you something solid to look at, and then you can learn from that as well. So things that I might include are a few social media things. You can do followers or engagement, reach, and all of that sort of stuff. Art sales in terms of the number of sales or even the value of your sales. Workshop attendees if you run workshops online or offline. Did that make sense? Yes, online or offline. Email subscribers. You can look at your open rates for your emails, your click rates for your emails, number of website views as well. So there's lots of different things that you can measure. Just work out what you feel at this point is important to you. Write down those numbers, and then you'll have something to compare to, and you'll be impressed with yourself. So that seems to be the theme. Maybe we should integrate that into the title. How to be impressed with yourself.
Well, we've got a punchline at the end, but maybe that's our punchline. Become impressed with yourself.
I like that.
So yeah, they're our tips. I hope that you found this episode super helpful. We were going to tie up this conversation with saying the more practice that you put in, the more confident that you become.
Yep, this is accurate.
Yeah, and showing up consistently is really what matters the most in terms of building your confidence with your marketing for your art business. And yeah, just slowly improving day by day, 1% better. Would
That's
you
it.
have any final thoughts?
Just heard sets. That's all I have to say. I also wanted to offer as well, if our listeners are interested in some ideas for what to post on socials, on Instagram in particular, I have a free guide with 35 fuss-free ideas to help to call in your dream buyers over on socials. So that's completely free. If you want to head to my website, permissiontopaint.co/resources to go and get that guide in your inbox. And then Laura, you mentioned your retreat earlier on. Do you want to just quickly drop in the code again for our Paint, Rest, Repeat peeps?
So the discount code to get $200 off is PRR200.
Gorgeous. And that's on your website. What's your URL again?
laurajaneday.com/retreat.
Very nice. Easy.
Very nice.
That's a very easy
Super
one.
easy. Super easy. So hopefully if you are interested, there will be a couple of spots left, but I can't make any promises because this is 1 month in the past.
This is true. And don't forget, if you are interested in the retreat and it has sold out, send Laura a note because I'm sure, yeah, you'll have a wait list going. Now, a review before we wrap up. I have a review from the lovely artist named Wenda Grant. She has said, a wonderful sharing podcast. I've only recently had the time to properly listen to the episodes of Paint, Rest, Repeat and have come to really relate and enjoy Laura and Roz's conversations. I feel like they are still learning all the facets of creating art, but I am, but they share it with the listeners. I love this as it makes me feel not quite so alone. Great job, Laura and Roz. Thank you. Isn't that nice?
Thank you, Wenda.
So Wenda is at Wenda Grant on socials. And if you would like to leave us a review so we can shout you out just like this, please go and do that on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars, pretty please, for good karma, and a written review. If you leave a written review, just make sure you leave your Instagram handle so we can shout it out really clearly and hopefully get you a couple of follows over on socials. You can also leave us a review on Spotify, FYI. Is that all today?
Yeah, that's amazing. Great episode, Roz.
Cheers. Cheers, little ears. Cheers, big ears is just not a nice thing to say, I reckon. Cheers, little ears. All right, catch you soon.
Bye.
Bye.